Just wondering though, because the president just got back from the United Nations General Assembly, and in one of the meetings that held on the sidelines, he said that, you know, since Boko Haram pledged allegiance to ISIS, they have become a little more powerful. It would seem that ISIS is giving them some support. Now, if we're seeing the poisoning of waters, is there anything else that we should be expecting? Because this is a terrorist group. You can't put anything past them. Should we be looking at anything a little more dangerous? No, maybe not a little, perhaps a lot more dangerous.
I tell you that, I mean, when you are looking at terrorism, even the use of explosives, it is intended, oftentimes it's intended to create serious casualty amongst the populace, so that they can be seen to be relevant in the battle, the insurgency battle. You understand? But going by what you have just said, you see, we often make this mistake, believing that Boko Haram, and I think that was why the Boko Haram insurgency has lasted this long. We used to have a feeling that it's a local problem. It's not a local problem. You see, because Al-Qaeda is running away from the global hunt on terror led by America, Al-Qaeda has fused into many local and regional conflicts. You understand? Let me put it this way. It's a universal jihadist network. They are everywhere. We have network within networks. So every country, including Nigeria, must take the war on terror very seriously. And that is why, if you listen to that same side meeting, the President of America in fact, he de-emphasized the use of force. He is saying that force should not be used, but you should also not lose sight of the fact that you have Islamic clerics that must key into it. You have religious leaders that must key into it. Just like the same speech where we are talking about local chieftains. So everybody needs to be conscious and believing that, as you said, that the matter might be escalated.
But I'm just wondering, Captain Umar, the suggestion you made about the media, how the military needs to engage them, perhaps other agencies too may take a cue from that if they find it necessary. But if you look at the comments that Chief made, and then the police also spoke up about it, I'm just wondering, because I do know when the Boston scenario happened, how the forces there, they worked together, they combed everything, even Twitter, they had to use to trace certain things. Shouldn't they be, I don't know if they have, maybe they have, we may have missed it, invite Chief, look, get to hear from him, what happened to you, get his experience, and then several other areas, such that we have the impression that yes, the military keeping tabs to snuff out any threat whatsoever, albeit new, so that there'll be, maybe in the manner of speaking, no surprises.
Are you talking about Chief Foley?
Yeah, and the military maybe gleaning a thing or two from his experience.
I wanted to zero in properly. Yeah, Chief ought to have been debriefed. If whoever is at the helm of affairs is up to it. And debriefing him is not bringing him and harassing him, as is traditional with our agencies, but it's actually bringing in a cocktail of skill sets to sit with him informally. Psychologists, doctors, a lot of people will be sitting there, and each of them is going to be gleaning off something from what Chief has to say. When we do such things consistently, you are going to begin to see us put pieces together over time. We've had so much time doing everything manually and physically and sweating and getting nowhere, whereas we could actually achieve more if we just looked inward and think. Carl Jung said it. He said, the man who looks outward dreams, and the man who looks inward awakens. So anytime I see these windows open, I see opportunity, but we lose it. I have seen experts sit down and say, can you describe the man who kidnapped you? And they start drawing. I'm telling you, and take it to a database and bring out 20 possible people who could fit this description and start looking on their biometrics to see where they were last seen. Or look, it's about this thing. And our criminals insurgents, they are given to crudities. And even with the crudities, we are pains to actually pocket them.
And you always say they're creatures of habit. They could easily be pointed out.
All of us are creatures of habit. Nature is also the master habit. So you can't exist within the ambits of nature and not have habits. And if you can actually look close enough, it's there. It's just hidden in plain sight because you're not looking close enough.
I think you've touched on a point that we have always ignored, and talking about the drawings, I think professionally it's called identikit, which we've seen being done in other parts of the world. Do we have experts who can sit with someone who's had an encounter with some of these people and put some of those things in drawings? Because an identikit expert has the potential of having a series of these drawings and they match them with faces, and at the end of the day they have a picture of who they're looking out for.
Exactly. I wouldn't give you an affirmative on that, because if we do, then it's not showing. Okay, but I can tell you that even by guesswork, 170 million people, there's bound to be one person somewhere.
Can I quickly just
go ahead.
Can I quickly just tell you that the present National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongono, is an architect, but he can sit with you here. After you're sitting down, he'll give you a picture of yourself. The present National Security Advisor.
In other words, General, we already have people.
Yes, we have. We have. It's not that they are not there. What we need to do now is how do we,
what would they work with? The database?
Yes, have the synergy and work with the database. You understand? So I believe that, at times, if you are not in government, you will not know if certain things are happening.
Absolutely. The synergy you talk about here, sorry to cut in again, is it amongst all security operatives, agencies like the police, maybe the military and even the DSS?
Yes. There's, at the strategic level, you have a joint intelligence board meeting that holds regularly in the Office of the National Security Advisor. I think it's every Monday. All the security agencies, including the paramilitary agencies, they go there and they make briefs. Okay? And then from there, intelligence issues are brought together.
Because what we're talking about now is another problem for us as a country. No, we're talking about the menace of kidnapping. It's one issue that when we talk about Boko Haram, we shouldn't also forget to talk about the menace of kidnapping.
With all due respect to the senior officer, I must tell you that when it comes to the sister agencies, their nomenclatures and designations, it's quite robust up there. But you see, all these things are result-driven. Absolutely result-driven. Whatever you do, no matter how well you do it, at the end of the day, is what persists on ground, the physical reality of it. I once gave a lecture on national security at the Ford Foundation's collaboration with the Kuka Center. And I was trying to explain national security on 3 perspectives. National security, the agency. National security, the definition. And national security, the state of being. Okay? The agency and the definition will amount to nothing if it does not impact the state of being. What is the state of being national security-wise? How do you feel being a Nigerian, for example? How do you feel being an Igbo man, for example? How do you feel being a Christian or a Muslim? That's a sense of security. It's invisible, you can't see it, but you can certainly feel it. And all we put to bear on the table, on the scripts, must impact positively, because that's where we're going to draw the feedback from, if the process itself is working or not. So we do have all these nomenclatures. Look, let me give you an example. We have some very well-trained people on ground, and most of them have either been ostracized or they've just been sidelined. And that's not going to work, because I will tell you something. Why send someone out there to a school where he trains abroad, he tops his class, he has world-class equipment and environments to work with, And after topping that class in that school, in that country, you take him right out of that scenario. You put him on ground in Nigeria, no school, no class, no environment. And he's supposed to give you what? Rather than ostracize him and make him, you know, feel a little bit under the searchlight. You know, he's a busybody. He wants to show you. No, you challenge him. You challenge him so he can begin to replicate what he has brought down from there, not shut him down. So we have those problems with our law enforcement and within our law, in fact, within Nigerian public institutions generally. And then the media law enforcement relationship it's you know, it's ironic. Both media and law enforcement intelligence agencies, they all use information.
Yeah.
They can't work without it.
Exactly.
So why don't you meet across board and you know,